Alright. This was the build I was planning on doing instead of my Reeve build, because I thought this bow would be pretty radical with a bunch of frenzy charges in combination with these boots, in combination with this belt. So every time I stop, I stack up. Obviously, I am using a Slayer so that my frenzy charges equal my endurance charges. I haven't done this one because I'm super low life and that dude would just wreck me, but I'll have 20% more damage against elites. Maybe go crit route. I don't know. Crit is pretty low on the bow, but it doesn't matter. Either way, I don't think it works very well. I don't think the added, because if I have 8 frenzy charges, it's like an added 100 cold damage, added 80 cold damage or something like that. I don't think it's really worth it. I'm also using this to add some cold damage. I also don't think this is very worth it. I'm just using this because it has +1 to power charges and it puts me at 5. DPS numbers are pretty bad. 110. And there's a little bit of pin. Path down this way. Get some projectile. I actually hit the wrong passive there, so that'll help out. I wanted that one. Oh, actually, I no longer have endurance charges, so I don't think... Yeah, I was, because I no longer... Oh, the brutality charges don't, like, disappear. That's interesting. You see when I move, it only gets rid of the other ones. So I constantly keep the extra brutality damage. Anyhow. So I path this way. I got a little crit. Some projectiles. Here. Yeah, I wanted to see what level I was at. Character 78, so I got another 6 or 7, 8 levels. I don't really know where I'm going to go next. I think I'll just fill out some life nodes. Fill out this life node. Pop that 6, maybe pop this. Get up to pretty close to 4K. I don't really know what I can do. I think this build is ultimately a failure. It might have been an okay starter. Let's hit a tier 14 map. This is about as good as it feels. I don't really remember what maps are. Let's do an Ashenwood. I don't want to mess with any of that. Let's do a colonnade. Colonnades. I guess I showed the linkage. I'm using this as my 6th link. It was 2 divine. Ice Bite, Weaken Cold, damage on full life. I would do damage on elemental damage, but this does a little bit of physical, so I still have a little bit of physical. So I'm not sure the elemental... I mean, the physical's tiny compared to the cold. I'm not sure the elemental is going to be more than full damage. As a Slayer, I should be at full life most of the time. Vicious projectiles, inspiration... Using split arrow right now because I had a 21-20 in my stash. I might switch to ice shot. And there's a helmet that'll allow me to cast a spell when I hit with the projectile, which will let me
I can't do this just yet.
Cast a hydrosphere and do barrage with hydrosphere, and we'll see if that can help out the damage on bosses. But I had multiple reasons to build the Slayer. I wanted to try my exact same Reeve poison build with the Slayer instead of a Trickster to see if it's better as a Trickster. As you can see, the damage is not as great as you would expect for having those brutality charges. It's clearing okay, but when you see that I get to a yellow mob, a rare enemy, they don't die very quickly. And then bosses are just ridiculous. Can't kill any bosses. I think bosses get a... I don't usually play elemental builds. Usually play physical builds, so I think bosses get a lot of elemental resistances. It's obviously... Yeah, we'll do this essence, I'll show you. It's obviously pretty good for mapping. And I've never played an archer before, so I don't really see. Oh, look at that. Just can't do anything to him. Maybe this was what everyone was complaining about. Maybe everyone that was complaining about the game was playing elemental damage. Because my Poison Reeve build, I didn't really struggle at all through this league. Everything died so quickly that I didn't notice any of the, what do they call these? Arch Nemesis mods causing problems. I was just fortunate enough to pick the right starter. And eventually I'm gonna repath into something like this. I'll get rid of the knockback. But for now, my 6 link does more. I don't have 5 link on it. I used all my spare divines to build this build and get those boots. Those boots were 2 divine. The guy said he was quitting the league, so he gave me them for 1, which was lucky. I don't think the boots are actually the right choice. It's super easy to get frenzy charges, and I think frenzy might actually be a great skill to use all on its own. And then endurance charges, I can find a way to get them. And power charges aren't that important. They're also pretty easy to get. So there's quivers that give a frenzy charge on crit. That'd be just an easy way to get frenzy charges. So I can use the +1 of frenzy charge boots, which will be overall better. I think there's also another pair of boots that give me a bunch of damage to low life enemies for frenzy charge. I forget what they're called. I might have a pair in my stash. I can take a look at the stats. Those might be a good choice. I think they also give a boatload of regen. And I get real tanky when I take off that belt and I switch to endurance charges. I think I'm pretty close to 90% physical damage reduction. So I'm just fighting this boss. I normally don't fight the boss. I'm just leveling up my character. I never don't fight the boss because, as you can see, I don't do any damage to bosses. That's just ridiculous. This boss is really hard for me anyways, with fire on the ground that I'm not immune to. You can see my pantheons are just pretty basic. I don't even have them leveled up. Still an early character. Let's run another map. So let's run a more open map. I want a strand. Maybe more strand. 3. I think all of these are shit. That one's... Oh, can't leech. Yeah, that's a problem. Let's reroll it. Yeah, that's fine. So depending on the map, I mean, bows are just good for certain builds. Running hatred. Let me see. Haste or hatred. Hatred is better. Standing here, I got pretty good evasion. Armor's pretty shit. Actually, I'll just demonstrate it. I'll put on a belt. I'll just remove the belt. Okay, 72, 72. And in game, if I can get the damage up, I'll probably use Grace and Determination. Well, that's weird. Oh, the endurance charge is just staying because I haven't moved. Once I move, pop. I mean, I wouldn't even need Determination. I'd just run Grace. So I'll probably get rid of this Brutality belt. If I can get the damage up. Triple damage times... I think it's 4%. Triple damage times 8. So 32%. Triple... Actually, I think it's only 3. Well, tell me. Yeah, 3%. 3 times 8, 24%. To to do triple
I
damage.
can't do this just yet.
That's like pretty close to double damage at all times. And using this build, I might be able to get second wind and this dash, so I can dash around, so I don't have to move and just dash so I don't lose them. Though they pop right up. They could pop up a lot faster. The charges pop up a lot faster than I thought they would after moving. And you can see these yellow mobs, they don't die. Don't have the damage. Which is a little, I don't POB very often. I just kind of think of a good idea and run it. And this was going to be my starter build before the Reeve build. And it obviously works, and I'm glad I did not start it. It would have been fine, I guess. I wouldn't have had a 6-link, so it would be even worse than this. And I also wouldn't have had this bow. So this bow's shit. This build might work significantly better with a different bow. Just get a high damage yellow bow.
My spirit is spent.
Plop. See, I think this is only a tier 12 strand too. Now let's demo a different belt. Kind of like this belt with it.
Hail.
So you can see the tankiness. Huge decrease in damage, but tankiness is pretty strong. So I'll fight this guy. He's just been slaughtering me in basically one hit. See what it do. It's most of the damage over time that's killing me, I guess. Even with my attack speed. I guess it'll get better as I level it up. If I level it up, I might just stop and switch to the Reeve build and see if the Reeve is better on this than on the Trickster. I think the Trickster is going to be better just because the Trickster's starting path has that physical and chaos damage nodes. And those are just super strong for that kind of a build. Basically 20% increased damage for each one. But I always like leveling up a character with it as a bow build. Just run around shooting people. Especially split arrow. Brings back Diablo 2 vibes. Let's fight this boss and show how pathetic my damage is. But I am tanky with those endurance charges. Take forever. Now that it's first time using barrage support, because I haven't played a bow character. I don't think I've ever actually played a bow character. But I think this would be a pretty good skill for poison. If you hit him with this barrage on a poison build, that's a lot of poison stacks. So you can probably build up just a frickin' boatload of poison. Oh my god. Take forever. Oh, hey! That's cool. I tried it with the Covenant. Even switched the colors around a little bit. Which sucks, because I'm missing my 4 green Covenant. But the 2 blues can work pretty well. I could put crit damage on there. But I tried it with the Covenant and tried to do like an all damage type of deal. And pathing into getting a little poison here. And running Herald of Fire, Herald of Ice, and Herald of Lightning. And just hitting them with all kinds of different damage sources. And not specializing in elemental damage. And that didn't work either. Anywho, that's the failure of a build.